I can hear you fine. Can you hear me?
Yep. And it looks like we got some people trickling in and whatnot. So it's cool. And then we'll give Ivan a couple minutes. And just a heads up for anybody, I'm actually at work at the same time doing this. So I'm going to be on mute for quite a bit throughout the conversation. So once Ivan jumps in, I'll make a quick intro and then I'll hand everything back over to you, Jerry.
Sounds good. And this was we had we I didn't get an agenda from you, or it's buried.
Yeah. Oh,
One of
is
the
it?
two.
Let me see if I can't pull that up real quick for you. It's just
I think it's in there. It's just underneath a bunch of other
yeah,
messages, and I've
really just
been
an overview of what's happened the past 2 weeks. Everything in and outside of Luna Classic.
well. Ivan should be on his way. I did send it to him by DM.
Cool.
Yeah, folks, we're just gonna wait for a couple more minutes, give Ivan a chance to get in here, and then we'll kick it off. Ivan, can you request the mic? I can make you co-host too, but
There he is.
I think we're set up there, PSX.
All right, cool. All right, so let's go ahead and kick it off, guys. Thanks for joining us on episode 12 for Uninterrupted Podcast. I'm your co-host PSX. Here with the main host, Jerry, aka Luna Sapiens, dude. Um, we got a lot to cover. There's a lot that's been going on in and out of the Luna Classic community. With the White Whale protocol that's coming, pending on parity updates, the AMAs that we've both had, both Jerry and I, and then Ivan and Rocco. Unfortunately, Rocco will not be joining us today, but we do have him rescheduled for next Wednesday. I'll have to double check that time, and I'll send that over to you, Jerry. Ivan, you are more than welcome to join us as well. Consider it probably a part two, depending on how much we can cover in this 1 hour podcast episode. And then, of course, the memes. Holy shit, the memes are going ballistic. I'm going to be the first to admit this is my first time degenning into a project, even though not financial advice, but Pepe, Mongoose, Elmo, just to name a few. And I'll be honest with you, I'm having fun. I think that's one of the things about crypto that makes investing fun is that you get to engage with the community and have these open dialogues, and also be able to ask the questions pending the political and social climates that are affecting our industry today. With that, I'm going to hand it over to Jerry, and I'm going to go on mute. Ivan, welcome.
Well, as far as news updates, there's been a lot of chit chat around a protocol associated with one of the validators that has been burning quite a bit of Luna Classic. So, Ivan, we talked a little bit about that. What's the name of the protocol again? I can't remember.
I think it's DF Lunk. I can check it out here in a second.
Yeah, I think you're right. So with that, outside of Luna Classic, outside of crypto, did you hear about Jamie Foxx?
No, I did not, but I am interested to hear.
He's in the hospital right now, and he's recovering, but the family's not releasing the reason why. I think the guy's only 55 years old. I mean, I watched him, growing through the years. I watched him on TV and in his movies. So hopefully he recovers.
Yeah. Hopefully, that's very unfortunate. And I did look up that protocol. That's DF Lunk protocol. D is in dog, F is in Frank. Lunk is the handle for that, and I've been trying to dig into it a little bit. I haven't had a lot of time on it. I do know that a few people have checked in on the burn and what they're doing, and it does look like they have been burning what they say they are burning. I know there was some questions to the wallets, but that's about as deep as I've gotten into it.
I don't have time to dig into it with everything that's been going on this week with Luna Sapiens, which I guess we could talk about that a little bit as well. Um, Last week, I don't think we were even at 1,000, and over the weekend and into the current present day, like where we are right now, we're uh, we're not very far from being completely minted out.
Yeah, and that's it's actually incredible if you sit back and think about it for a minute, and how many projects have actually been on the Luna Classic blockchain. There's been a good many of them, and not a lot of them have grabbed this much traction, which is actually kind of impressive to sit back and watch. You know, when you wake up in the morning and there's, you know, 500 or 600 new mints, it's actually kind of incredible. Maybe it has a portion to do with, you've been around here for a very long time. And the community knows you very well. That's a possibility, or it just has everything to do with how you did the counts on the uniques, on the legendaries, and some of the other ones. It could be the treasure hunt factor, but either way, it's quite impressive.
I think that Miata.io can take some credit there too, because they have a following over there that people that love the NFT projects that launch, and they probably don't buy them all, but they look at projects they like when they pop up, and essentially it was a stealth launch. I mean, I didn't mean it to be that way, but that's kind of how it turned out, just because Strathcole is awesome at what he does, and he said, I'm not going to be available until next weekend, so if you can get it done today, I'll help you out. And I got him everything that he needed. He he took the extra step as well and helped me with some things that he needed from me along the way, and I was able to get everything to him very quickly, and he was able to test net it and get it launched within a 3 hour period. I was blown away at the professionalism and the customer service over there. It was just a really good experience overall, and anybody that has launched over there could probably agree with me. And other than that, like I even there's been a little bit more chat about Ed's blockchain, uh, but that's mostly last week news. But we are talking about last week as well. What do you know about that?
As far as that goes, and I'm still trying to get in touch with Ed here. I know he's very, very busy trying to get everything set up. I am trying to get a space set up with him so we could go over everything. But as far as what I know, you have to send different types, or yeah, different types. You got to send Luna Classic to the Burn wallet in order to acquire his tokens, and I believe they're going to be airdropped to you. depending, I don't know what the ratio is, but depending on what, you send X amount and you receive X amount, um, and that's about as much as I know as far as that goes. I do know that he's going to utilize some of the old validator CPUs, so that'll be a good thing. It's kind of like bringing a classic car back. You got to have a lot of pride in it when you're using it. So that's very interesting. For the most part, the white paper where he put some of the cliff notes and released a little bit of information was really, really hard to read because it was pretty much just a screenshot. So I definitely look forward to hearing a little bit more on that project.
Yeah, I want to hear more too. I just think it's going to be one of those very ambitious projects that takes a long time to materialize, and it'd be interesting to know if there's going to be a token that can be used on the main net eventually. Right now, it's just going to be test net only, and inviting other people over there to learn and build. So I think it's good, and if I'm curious to see the interactions between Luna Classic and maybe other Cosmos chains as well. See how it interacts, because one of the use cases, and it's one that's going to probably take the longest time to develop, is the social DApp for Luna Sapiens, and ChatGPT will be utilized in that. And when there's a lot of data, it needs a lot of space. Now, Tobias is also going to be working on a side chain, but I don't know if it's for the Cosmos. I didn't catch which blockchain, or if it's just going to be a completely new blockchain. But I want to say it has to do with file sharing, like Filecoin or something like that. But I could be wrong. He called it Docs Chain, and I'm just thinking documents. And he's talked about that many times. Was that your read too on that tweet?
Yeah, that's kind of what I was figuring it to be. But like I said, there's so many uncertainties there as far as what the project's going to do, how it's going to progress, and what the end achievement is. I'm kind of like you. I hope that if there happens to be a token, which I know there's going to be a token, but I hope that that will be open to some kind of swapping mechanism or something on the Luna Classic chain. But other than that, there's just not a lot of. He hasn't said much about it, so it's really hard to anticipate what's going to happen or what's going to be done.
So I guess we could probably get into some of the other fun stuff. Last week, we've seen major movements on meme tokens, and a lot of people in the community are starting to have fun with meme coins again, which Pepe was probably the one that started it all. And then after Pepe, I think Ben and Mong and PSX, you mentioned another one. There's like two or three more that I don't know.
There's actually quite a few. Elmo, yes, there's an Elmo. There's a Sesame Street Elmo, and then you have ladies, and then which recently Elon Musk just tweeted out. There's and then I want to say there's quite a handful that just kind of came out of nowhere. But two of the biggest ones that wrecked. Oh yeah, wrecked. Turbo. There's Lambo. When Lambo. I mean, the list goes on. And I was even curious, like I even looked it up. I have to find the site though, but it's something to kind of keep in mind that there is approximately, and this will scare you. This will really kind of throw things into perspective. Is that there's approximately 266 scams, scam projects per day. Apparently, I don't know how these guys got that number, but I mean that really shifts on like how vulnerable how vulnerable we are just as an industry we are to these um to getting rugged on a day to day basis. Just because it's apparently it only takes like 5 to 10 minutes to create a token.
Well, I mean, you can fork a contract pretty easily on Ethereum or Binance Smart Chain, and you can launch it with liquidity. Yeah, within about 5 to 10 minutes, if you know what you're doing. It's not that difficult. I mean, obviously, you have to have the communication channels set up, and typically a white paper and a website and stuff like that. But some of these guys, if you look close enough, you can see that they still have other token names in their white paper. You can pick up on that pretty quick, and you know that they're doing something like that. Now that could be somebody that did copy and paste somebody's white paper to try to write theirs and plagiarize as well. But that's just one of those things that you can do to kind of prevent yourself. I've been rugged enough times to know that
Yeah.
it's pretty
I mean,
common.
what was it? Just like the more recent case with the more Terraport incident, even when the ASOS publicly addressed that there was a mismatch with white papers, even that alone isn't good enough. As far as outing wise, I don't quite fully understand that process. Maybe one of you guys can chime in on that. I'd like to get some more additional
Yeah,
clarity
my
on that.
thing is that doesn't really out any project, but there are warning signs that you as an investor thinking about going into one of these meme coin projects can look at. I mean, obviously the well known ones that you mentioned, um, got to keep in mind as well is when you hear about it and it's massively out there on Twitter and in the cryptoverse and everyone starts to know about it, you aren't one of the early ones. And you're probably going to end up being somebody's exit liquidity at some point, which is what happened with Pepe and what happened with Mong and all these other ones, right? Ben went down as well. I think Ben's currently going down right now. Last I checked it a couple minutes before the podcast, and it's gone down significantly over the last couple of days, actually. And I think today it's moved down quite a bit. So, I mean, people that get in earlier will exit at some point, and then you got to ride until the next wave hits. And with these types of tokens, that next wave is usually it's a longer wait before the next one happens, which is unfortunate. So, when the hype is real, it may or may not be the right time, and these things you'll have to weigh. But as far as keeping yourself safe, it's it's pretty. I think it begins easier. The more you get screwed, the easier it gets, right? But if it's an IPO or an an ITO, initial token offering, where they launch it stealth or they launch it with a pre-sale or anything like that. Basically, if it's brand new and you get the whole idea in your mind, oh, I'm going to get in early. I'm going to be one of the early ones. Those are typically the ones to watch out for and to dig deeper on than maybe the ones that have already existed for several years, like Shiba and Doge, because obviously they've been around. So if you're getting into something that's brand new, that's just launching, um, and if like sometimes like me, when I was doing a lot of degen plays, I was kind of lazy and I would just throw a small amount in and like, okay, well, let's see what this happens with this, and just kind of wait and see. And I'm not really big into meme coins like I used to be, but like you said, man, you get a community gets together and they start, talking about it. It's just something to talk about. It's fun. The memes are hilarious, and it's kind of a nice camaraderie thing. So, I mean, I'm not even looking at the chart. I have a little bit of Pepe myself, not very much, and I actually have a little bit of Ben. I didn't get into any of the other ones though, and I just enjoy talking to some other people that are in it and seeing what they have to say. I think Ben has some potential just because of who's behind it, because he's got a huge media following, and that's a BitBoy Crypto. And I don't know. Out of the whole entire group, what do you guys think? Which one is the one that you're hoping for to be the biggest winner out of all of them?
My money's on Mung.
All right, Mongoose.
Yeah, I'm a bit of a mongoose guy. I mean, it's like I visited the website, and when you when you base it off of what a senator said about like hamster coin, and then he said mongoose, it's like, it's funny how these meme coins are. It's funny how some of the most outlandish comments some of these politicians make can easily give birth to a meme coin or just a meme in itself, and it ends up being like a cultural revolution. And just to put things into perspective, that's always culture is something that is one of the pillars that gives community or anything value. And that's where the conversation can start right there. Real quick, I do want to kind of dial it back a little bit. I know I'm still technically in this meeting, so I've been bouncing back and forth trying to kind of listen in on the conversation. Did we cover the AMAs that we had last week?
We didn't go over White Whale Protocol yet, and
Okay, Whitewell, and then
AMAs
and
with
then
the
the
leapfrog.
Blitz, and then the AMAs with Rocco and Ivan. I want to start off with there. Ivan, can you kind of? I didn't get a chance um, to listen in on the recorded AMA that you had with LBA. Can you fill me in or fill Jerry and I in if because I know I missed it and I tried to find some time to go back into it, but I've been so distracted. So maybe you can give me a quick briefing.
It
I
was
feel
the
like I'm
Cliff
still
Notes,
out of the
Ivan.
loop.
The Cliff
Yeah,
Notes.
I can. Yeah, I was just going to say I can run through some of the cliff notes. So, anyway, I believe I might be a day or two off here. They're doing the V 2.0 update here in today. So like the next 5 days. I believe the date on that is the 17th, and then they are planning on which it's not 100% locked in, but it's pretty close. They're planning on getting us to parity on March 31st, or May 31st. And, going over a couple of things because I know we're getting into it. He did have a discussion with White Whale. They do want to come over. Um, I was curious about the IBCs that was voted out due to the Terraport crash. Um, so I had asked about that, and he said that once they are at parity, White Whale has everything that they need. I guess they've done some testing and stuff like that. So we will be good to go on that aspect as soon as parity is reached.
Now, the process of that is also going to include a proposal on White Whale side of the house, because I believe that their holders need to vote whether they come over here or not. And then I would imagine we would do one too, or be in PSX. Correct me if I'm wrong, because it's a utility. We just let them build. I mean, I would think we would let any utility build, but I don't think there's a proposal on this end.
Well, there's no mechanism to prevent anybody um, to build on in our ecosystem, whether you have some suspicions or not. It's just one of those things that for everybody, just keep stay vigilant, keep your eyes open. If you're not sure about something, try to ask or get with somebody who's more knowledgeable on that can kind of fill you in on what to look for if something doesn't feel right, kind of and help fill in those details or any gaps where there may be a disconnect. Sorry, I'm like
Well,
backing into this
I
in
know
and
we
out of this meeting.
typically, I know we typically don't bring people up, but Luna V Shape's in here, and he's a White Whale person. He's pretty big in the community. He could probably shed some
Okay.
light on some of it.
Yeah. If Ivan, if you don't, we if we can bring him on if he'd like. Cool. Give me a second. Let me.
I invited him, so I don't
Okay.
know if he
Cool.
can. I don't know if he can
Oh
because.
yeah, I'm not a co-host. Ha! Forget I said anything.
Oh, yeah, sorry, I didn't make you a co-host. Um, okay, he's speaker now. V Shape, how you doing today?
Hey man, everything is good. I only have like half an hour, unfortunately, but yeah, I'm gonna be yours for the next 30 minutes.
Well, what would be the process of them moving to another chain? Do they have to do a proposal?
Yes, I think Cencom said something like that. We need to um, have a proposal on White Whale, and then it's going to be up for voting, I guess. Yeah, me myself, I think I'm one of the biggest individual holders of White Whale, so my vote is counted already, I guess. But let's see how the rest of the community votes.
So is the proposal's live right now?
No, it's not live yet. I think first the IBC channels need to be opened, and then they can start a proposal, I guess.
Well, the parody date is the 31st or the 1st of June is the last I heard, unless Ivan has a different projection from his AMA, because we did one before his, and that's what we got. And if that is the special date where we figure it out, then I suppose that the proposal will probably happen in June.
Yes, hopefully. I think Cencom is on vacation right now for 2 weeks. As soon as he comes back, I'll shoot him a message and maybe get in touch with him again.
Yeah, he told me that too. I spoke with him a little bit right before he went on vacation, and yeah, that. So I guess it'll be right before the end of right before parody, like a couple days before. PSX has a question for you, I think.
Actually, it was just I wanted to readdress a conflict of scheduling from last week that is Ivan kind of kind of nailed me to the cross when we had the scheduling with Duncan's podcast episode. That was right on top of his AMA, and yeah, so I felt really bad. I told him that Jerry insisted that we do it on the same time, so this is not really my call. So
that's
and he said he didn't give a fuck. They're recording it. But just kind of relay that message to you, Ivan.
I
way out of my
Ivan
control
every single day. PSX every day.
Yeah, and it's all good, PSX. He already admitted it, so no problem there.
I did not,
right.
But we did talk about it. So I think moving forward, if we share each other's schedules, because we don't have time to dig through everyone's tweets, I think that might be a good idea, Ivan.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. And actually, I think I realized it at one point in time, and then I was like, oh, I got to talk to him about that. And then I got busy with stuff and forgot. But, that happens. Unfortunately, it hurts both sides. So, but all is good. We all got through it. So that works well.
I mean, maybe we just keep each other informed so that when you're having one, we can go in there and support. And I want to listen to it anyway, and then vice versa. I'm going to be doing a little bit more groundwork next week. I'm assuming the NFT project's going to be minted out soon. And talking to development companies right now, some of them are too expensive, but I'm getting an idea of what we can and cannot do with the Luna Sapiens. But I have to schedule my time appropriately because I have to reach out to 2.0's utilities. Luna V-Shape has put me in touch with somebody, but I haven't gotten a chance to get a hold of Vlad yet for the enterprise protocol. But there's a lot more other ones over there on 2.0 that I'm going to try to reach out to see if they're interested in coming over for a conversation. At the least, we'll get exposure to what they have going on over there, because this is a cosmos. It's not just Luna Classic. There's other things going on other chains. And I think we bring them over here and talk, and then I can ask them the question, what do you think about coming over Luna Classic? Go ahead, PSX.
Yeah, I do want to bring something up to the forefront of this conversation regarding your projects, and this may be I'm going to put you on the spot, Jerry. So I do this out of love and I do this out of respect, so don't hate me. But there have been some conversations have been happening in other spaces in regards to some of your previous projects. I'm hoping that you can probably shed some light on that potential claims of scam rugging. Would you mind shedding some light on that or providing some kind of clarity?
Sure. So I was in a project, gosh, what was it, a year and a half or 2 years ago, and called Rosinu, and I was the doxed individual, and I was the main person of the project. Now we did hire a dev, and unfortunately he wasn't doxed. I did see him on video, but I don't know his real name. I just know him by his moniker. We made a lot of mistakes, spent money on marketing that didn't really pan out and things like that. The name of the actual token was not what it was supposed to be when it was launched, so we had to do a rebrand, and rebranding never works. I mean, we found that out the hard way. Long story short, it started getting to a point where it was completely dead, and there was hardly no trading for like 3 months. And then out of the blue, the dev took out the liquidity. One transaction took out the liquidity, and I messaged him. I was like, why did, and I used the word rug. I said, why'd you rug us? And then he's like, I didn't. BNB is supposed to, that was back when BNB was like, there was a big scare that it was going to dive. I just took it out, and I was like, well, what are you going to put it in, Ethereum or what? What are you going to do with it? And I go, and this individual put in 10,000 of his own money into the LP. So I understand his concern, the way he said it to me. And I was like, okay, fine, put it in something, and then we do want to relaunch at some point. And I have had conversations with him after the fact, and yeah, we're never going to see that again because he kind of changed his story. And there was another project that I got involved in, but it never launched, called Hakusho. There was artwork done on it already, and some things were happening in the background. We had a contract ready to go, and we did pay for some influencers. There's no refunds on that, unfortunately. We did pay for some moderators because we're in the Telegram chat, so that because we're planning on launching in 2 weeks after that point. It never launched, and I've personally refunded some of the pre-sale individuals. So there's only 7 people that were involved in the pre-sale, and I've refunded 3 of the 7, and I've had conversations with all of them. And if anyone is a pre-seller that I don't know about, let me know in my DM or on Telegram so that I can figure that out. I don't have access to the list because I have to get it when I get back to the States. But I do know that one individual is getting refunded here when I get back in Ethereum. And that'll be 4. And then I think there's one more. And then there's 2 that put quite a bit of money in that is going to be a lot harder to refund them. But I keep in contact with both of them on a weekly basis. And that's pretty much it, man. So, yeah, I've been involved in a project that went to complete dirt. And then, and I mean, it was already down in the dumps, but there was, I can't remember the exact amount of the liquidity PSX, but in my mind, it's 30,000. It might be a little bit under or a little bit over, but that's the number that I keep remembering. But, 10 of it was his. The rest of it did not belong to him. The rest of it belonged to the people that were still in the project. So, lesson learned.
No, thanks for adding that clarity. I'm pretty sure there's going to be those in the community that are going to continuously bring it up to your attention, and that might be one of those stories that just may not die off so easily. Not surprisingly, but hey, you've got Luna Sapien, so congratulations to you and Luna V on a job well done. Looking forward to seeing where things will go from here. Anything you want to add to that, Luna V? Because I know you've been a hardened supporter. I know originally you were prior before you stepping down, you were the head of the marketing process. Is there anything that is there any additional involvement that you have with Jerry regarding this project?
Well, Jerry came to me and asked basically if I could help out with the marketing, and I said, yeah, sure. I like the artwork, and I trust Jerry. We do video calls all over. He's doxed. So I'm not really afraid of anything happening there. We already said that we're gonna create a multi-sig wallet for the development funds, so that's in the works as well. So yeah, probably with 3 people, because it's more secure that way, in case someone loses access to his wallet. That way, you need 2 signatures out of 3 to do transactions. So yeah, we're gonna do multi-sig for the development funds of Luna Sapiens. Yes, it's correct that I was a marketing position of Luna Punks. How did I come to that position? Well, during the DPAC event, I bought massively into Luna Punks, and became the biggest holder by far. And during the DPAC event, the whole staking treasury of Luna Punks got eliminated, basically. So I thought, okay, the artwork is still there. Then staking got re-enabled, and I said, okay, our utility of these Luna Punks is staking. So I donated quite a bit of my own money. I think back in the days when it was at 302, I donated, I think, 30 to 40 million Luna Classic to Luna Punk's treasury, just for these NFTs to have some utility. And then basically after that, Hippie offered me a position in the team as marketing, and that went quite well. Unfortunately, yeah, there was not enough development happening from Hippie's side, so I said I can't really do marketing if there's no development happening, so I stepped down. That's basically my story.
Yeah, thanks for sharing. Jerry, I got another meeting I gotta hop into. I'm gonna stay in here just to kind of keep myself plugged in, but I'm handing everything over to you.
Okay, sounds good. So, gosh, we went from meme coins to some old projects that I had experiences with and failed at, and then we went into Luna Sapiens, Luna Punks, and what else is there, Ivan? What didn't we cover as far as the last couple of weeks that has happened in Luna Classic and outside of Luna Classic?
I actually have a question, Jerry. Do
Sure,
you
go
know
ahead.
if there's going to be IBC open to Luna 2.0 as well?
I mean, I hope so. I don't know for sure, V-Shape. I don't. Obviously, that conversation is going to be forced to be opened if we can get some of the utilities over from 2.0 to come over here and talk to the community in one of these podcasts, whether it's through Ivan or myself or somebody else, and then we can get the communication open to layer one and see what they can do, and hopefully something that can happen. Ivan, you still over there?
Yeah, I'm here. I know there's a couple of props, if you want to go over those, Jerry, that are up for governance right now. I'm going over there right now. The I know modify the burn tax ant handler split from 90-10 to 80-20. If you want to touch a little bit on that. Obviously, the upgrade, that'll probably just go through. Yeah, it's already through. So just a couple of things there. I don't know if you want to touch on that stuff.
Well, yeah, the anti-handler is just a watered-down version of what had already come out with the 50-50 split of the anti-handler, right? We don't have very much in the community pool, and I know that doesn't really affect a lot of layer 2 stuff right now, but it affects paying for layer 1 development in the future, and it affects paying for or incentivizing layer 2 to come over, because that requires money to be competitive with other blockchains that are doing so, right? But like small projects they typically don't get funded, right? So a lot of the small projects that are still planning on doing things, that's really not what it's for. It's for the bigger stuff. that 2.0 already has, and some of the other Cosmos chains. But 2080. So if you want to hear my opinion, is it better than 9010? Yes, it's better than 9010. Is it going to give us a surplus? I don't think so. Um, I think it's good. Is it passing right now, Ivan?
Let me look.
Okay. I think that, like, okay, so a lot of people didn't agree with the 50-50, and I think it would have been good if the people that supported the 50-50 would talk and have a conversation with the people that didn't support it at all, and find out what a nice happy medium would have been. Maybe it would have been 30-70 instead of 20-80, but I think it's a net positive for more money in the community pool. But moving forward, with the parity happening, I don't like. It's not like magic's going to happen immediately at a snap of a finger as soon as that happens. I think it's going to take some time. But the 2080 is going to provide more money in the community pool for development, but mostly just on chain layer one, not attracting layer two from somewhere else to come over. So we have to think about that in the future. Another thing that I think next quarter, in my mind, and maybe not in everybody's mind, but I think solutions for the Oracle pool need to be discussed in detail and figured out as soon as possible, because it's not going to be there forever.
Yeah, and I agree with that 100%. That's one thing that I kind of feel has been lacking lately is heavy discussion on proposals. It seems like there's one or two spaces held on it, and there's not a lot of people involved in that. And then it just goes directly to governance. And I'm not quite sure why that is, but I've been noticing that with a lot of different things. So it's looking like right now they're at 77.31% yes, 0.3% abstain, 22% no, and 0.39% no with veto. It has not reached quorum yet, and it ends in 5 days. So, it's really hard to say on that. Definitely a lot of big voters still have not, or big validators haven't voted yet. So, quite a long ways to go on that. So I guess we'll see. I definitely think we need it, in my opinion. Get a little bit of extra funds. You know, uh, there is one thing, Jerry, that we haven't talked about, and it hasn't really been brought up in a space yet. Is I talked with Jared over at TFL, and because I've been noticing ample amounts of problems with the mobile side of Terra Station, and the RCPs keep going down, and the wallet's been down more than it's been up. So I reached out to him, and he said that they are no longer supporting the mobile application, that they will only be supporting the desktop version. Which, I mean, if you use a desktop all the time, then you're fine. But if you're somebody like me, there's no desktop where I'm at like 95% of the time. So if you want to get into that a little bit, we can there, Jerry.
Yeah, I mean, I've noticed it myself, right? Throughout the last 2 weeks, it seemed like it constantly going down. And initially, I spoke with Strathcole about it, and he said it's got to be something with Terra Station. He goes, ask Terra Rebels. They're supporting the mobile app. And apparently, TR only supported it for 3 days, and then they said they gave it back to TFL. And now you're telling me that TFL don't support it anymore. So now I'm just confused. So Terra Rebels took it over, and then they don't, and nobody's supporting it. And I don't know how. I'm not pointing a finger because I really don't know. I have no idea. Like, all I know is I've heard from both parties that they're not supporting it, and that's concerning.
Yeah, without a doubt. And as far as I know, the endpoints were pointed towards TR. Now TR has stated that they were directed back at TFL. So either way, regardless of what's going on, um, if they're not going to update the application, then we're going to continue to see crashes. And what the issue is with the RCPs is that it doesn't properly interact with the DAP that you're trying to use. So I know your project has suffered from it, where somebody goes to Mint and you get an error. A couple of different DApps that I use, I can't move funds either way due to the RCPs being down, and it's just been an absolute mess. So if they're not going to be updating those, as far as I know, the Rebel station, which I'll plainly say that I'll never use it. And I don't care if it's the last wallet left. I'll leave my change out there in the cyber world before I go to that length. But either way, regardless, I don't believe that Rebel Station has a mobile application yet for their wallet. And aside from that, I do believe there's Kepler wallet, which you can use. I believe I probably will be switching over to that to and throw some coin in it and see how it works. And interacts with the other DApps. And if there's no issue there, then that's what I'll use. But yeah, that's a big problem right now. And it's definitely something that we have to get corrected.
Yeah, you're going to like Kepler Wallet, I think. I like it. Yeah, the Terra Station now, it's not, everyone calls it a wallet, but it really is just an interface that reads your crypto. And they never even access other people's crypto. It's just an interface, just like Terra Station is, right? So it's essentially the same thing. So if somebody wants to use the Chrome extension for Terra Station on Classic, or they use Rebel Station, you're using the same interface. It just looks different. So either one works. And I mean, I already have the Terra Station downloaded for the Chrome extension. That's what I use. People that use Rebel Station, they use it if they want. I mean, it's not any different. And right now, I mean, TFL, are they going to continue to support the extension? I mean, it seems so, yes. It would be detrimental to how, their expenses to keep servicing on Classic side, because don't they have a completely new Terra Station application at this point?
Yeah, I'm not 100% on that, Jerry, so I wouldn't even want to comment.
But I know the V-Shape knows. But maybe
So
he
again,
so TFL and Terra 2.0, they have a brand new Terra Station that they're servicing, right? Which is nothing to do with the old Terra Station? Yeah, okay. So they've moved on from the old application. And now, to my knowledge, the new application does not have Classic. Is that correct?
not really now. Well, you can switch. Well, the phone application is not supported yet, right? And probably not in the near future. So they're not working on upgrading anything for the mobile app, because Jared TFL says that there's only 2 to 3 or 4% daily active users using the phone application, and all the rest is desktop users. So that's a bit unfortunate from my point of view, because like you want to be able to access your funds as well when you're on the run, right? And like if you're like outside somewhere in the town or whatever. So that's unfortunate, but I think in the future at some point they will work on that. We just need to be a little bit more chilled about it, I guess. And then Luna Classic is not really. I think you can't see really history or anything, if that's correct, on desktop. But I'm not sure. I'm like still using mobile for Luna Classic, so don't get me on it. I don't have my computer at me right now, so.
Yeah, I use the old extension, and I use the mobile app for mine. So I have never even utilized the new system at all, and I don't think it would work anyway, because I think Jared talked about it earlier this year, that it doesn't support Classic right now, and I think that has to do with parity. Now that there's parity, maybe it can. So we'll see.
Could be. Yo, guys, Jerry, I need to go actually, because I have a meeting now in 9 minutes. So it was a pleasure talking to you guys, and hopefully talk to you soon.
Well, thanks for coming by. Appreciate it. Go ahead, Ivan. Or are you waving?
I was trying to wave.
All right. So, gosh, I think we covered a lot. I mean, there's probably something that we missed. And PSX is going to tell us what we missed.
Sorry, I just got out of that meeting. I just coming in at the end because we've got we don't have a whole lot of time, so we do have to wrap it up. Let's see. First, if anybody didn't catch it, I know it's probably not as a big deal as some of the other things that we did cover earlier on, but Jared TFL did release the new interface design with the Blossom look to it, so it's pretty sweet. Definitely something that one of our own community members, Natasha, has been vehemently pushing. So looks like that dream of hers came to fruition. So quick shout out to her, or congratulations on her persistency. Also, congratulations to you, Jerry, on an accomplishment with your NFT project, and looking to see where that's going. Ivan, sorry I missed your AMA again. Not my fault. All Jerry's. Just wanted to cover that. But other than that,
As I
we do
said,
have.
PSX, no worries there. He called me the other day, and he was like, "Dude, I feel so bad, but not really. I just want you to know that I really enjoyed toppling over your AMA, and he basically told me to go screw myself. So
Yeah.
it all worked out in the end."
All good, all good, all good. Well, we do have Rocco coming in next Wednesday, and that's scheduled for, I believe, 11 o'clock, same time today. I'll have to double check that, and then we'll do that. We'll get something set up to where you can come in, and we'll consider that a part two, just to make up for the conflict of scheduling. Other than that, we are also in process. Jerry and I are still working hard, trying to reach out to other projects to kind of help tee up the conversations that are looking to develop onto the Luna Classic blockchain. As for everybody else, really want to say thank you all for joining us and hanging out with us on here at episode 12. And we're looking forward to having all of you guys join us here in the future coming podcast episodes. Thanks a lot, guys.
Yeah, please tune in for the spooky episode 13, because it should be a good one since it's that number, right? All right, I want to, Ivan, thanks for coming in. Luna V Shape, we already said thank you to him for coming up and providing clarity on White Whale, and also Luna 2.0 and utilities over there, and a little bit of more information about the updated version of Terra Station, and PSX added on there that the art. So appreciate everybody coming here. Ivan, you can go ahead and say the last thing. Love everybody. Thanks for coming in and listening.
All right. Hey, thanks for having me, Jerry. PSX, I appreciate it. Hopefully we can get some more information on Ed's AI project here soon. And I guess I get to say the last thing, so the end.